Hey guys, my name is Priscilla Elias, and wouldn't it be a dream to produce whatever content you want, to work from home at your own pace and make money out of it? I know that many of you, just like me, are YouTubers who want to make a living out of your channel. Or even if you're not, maybe you're curious about the YouTube business. So today I'll share with you how much money I could make in my first year on YouTube, so that maybe you, as a new YouTuber or someone who considers starting out on the platform now, will get an idea of what you could expect from your first year on YouTube. I started out this channel on March 14th of 2020. If you're new here, I mainly talk about photography. If you're a YouTuber or want to be one, you probably know by now how important photography is to make great YouTube videos. Composition, good thumbnails, the best angles, editing, and so many other photo-related material is important to creating good content on YouTube. Up until March of 2020, I was working as a product photographer shooting luxury bags and accessories for a fashion boutique here in Stockholm. And I had this idea of starting out a photography YouTube channel for a while, very much inspired by people such as Peter McKinnon, Catherine Manning, and Peter Lindgren. I started out from zero, and at that point I had never recorded one single video in my life. I had been working as a professional photographer for about 2 years, even though I'm into photography for at least another 8 years. But video, that was totally new to me. So I started studying videography on YouTube, and I decided to try to go full-time straight away. It seemed to me like it was the perfect time to do so because I had saved some money from my previous job that would allow me to go through the first year if it did not pay off, and it probably wouldn't. And also the pandemic had just started, so the photo sessions, weddings and events I was doing a lot until then dropped drastically. My strategy was to release from 4 to 6 videos a month, since I wanted to release quality content instead of having tons of videos I would not be proud of later. But still, I had not made a video in my entire life, so I had a learning curve where it took me much longer to edit videos, understand how things worked, study the YouTube business, the algorithm, keywords, SEO, and all of the things involved in getting into YouTube for real. The first spike I had on YouTube was with this video. As you see here, I released it in July of 2020, and about a month later, YouTube started pushing it through the browse features. It took me exactly 7 months to get monetized, and it's not bad at all considering most of the people I admire and know the history of takes about a year to a year and a half to do that. So I was very excited. It was a good sign that I was doing something right. At that exact week I received the confirmation from YouTube that my channel would get monetized. I got a shout out from Peter Lindgren. I love his work, I'm a fan, and I commented in one of his photos, as I do every once in a while, and out of nowhere he put out a story on his Instagram inviting his followers to check out my latest video of an autumn photo shoot where I had tips and ideas to make good autumn portraits. He liked that video and genuinely talked about it. In the next 3 days I got like 400 followers and a bunch of new views on that video. Besides those two events, YouTube pushing that wedding video and Peter Lindgren's shoutout, most of my traffic up until now came from YouTube search. From the very beginning, I was always very careful with SEO. What keywords to use, how to make good titles, good thumbnails, adding good descriptions, making sure I use the keywords I wanted to rank for, and also the ones used on my titles when actually talking during the video. And I'm sure all of that helped me to rank well on YouTube search. If you search how to store photos, for example, you will see my video on the top of YouTube search, at least in my region, of course. If you search for contact sheet Lightroom, you will also find one of my videos at the top of YouTube search. And something similar happened to other videos. Most of the videos that now rank well on YouTube search did not do well from the beginning. This video, where I talk about how to make a contact sheet in Lightroom, for example, was released in May, exactly 2 months after I started out this channel, but it did not start gaining traction until August, even though it really started to go up here in October, exactly at the time I got monetized. And now let's go straight to the point. How much money could I make in my first year on YouTube? Not much, really. As you see here, in my channel's lifetime, at the time I record this video, all I made was $173.42. I got monetized in October, so that makes an average of $35 a month in ads. I also have affiliate links that give it a push, but the amount of money I make out of that is something similar to what I make on ads at this moment. Sometimes a bit more, sometimes a bit less. Besides that, in October I started having a couple of brands reach me for reviews and sponsorships. Is that bad? Let's look at these numbers. At this point, I'm having an average of 6 to 8 views a month, an average click-through rate of 6.5%, with an average growth of 115-130 followers a month. I started out from zero and I built that in exactly a year. I did put, though, endless amount of hours of work into this. I'd say the average time I spend working on a video is maybe 12 hours, where the simplest ones take me around 8 hours and the most complex ones, where I prepare the entire photo shoots, take me around 24 to 30 hours to produce. Is it worth it? Let me tell you a story. When I was little, my father quit a stable job he had at the bank, where he used to have a decent paycheck, to start his own packaging factory. He found a partner and invested all the money he had on this idea. It worked well for a while, until a bunch of things happened and he broke. Not only did he lose all his money, he was sunk in debts. He got depressed. I don't remember him being depressed. I was only 6 or 7 at that time, but I remember him getting really fat and sick in a matter of months. I also remember him going to the school where I used to study piano and begging the director to keep me in the school for another year until he would be able to pay for the monthly fees of my course again. She could have said no. She had no guarantees that he would actually pay her after a year. He could have given up. He could have gotten a new job and worked for a stable income again. She believed him, and for that reason, I got to keep studying the piano. But more important than that is that he believed himself, so that I could not only study the piano for another year, but for the upcoming 9 years. Not many people believed him when he was broke. Most said that he made a huge mistake, but he believed himself. He rose from the ashes. He restructured his ideas and he started a new business in the same area with new adjustments based on the things he had learned from his mistakes. He did not give up. He worked hard, months after months, years after years, and all of a sudden, he made things grow. He made it. He bought and sold new companies, he invested in several other people and projects, he invested in both me and my sister, and education in Brazil is something that can be quite expensive, and now he lives a very comfortable life, much more comfortable than all of the people who kept their jobs at the bank at the time. And not only that, he's fulfilled because he chased after his dreams and brought them into reality, He was an example to me of someone who knows there's time for planting and there's time for harvesting. He was an example of someone who perseveres when all seems to go wrong and when nobody else believes you. He still believed. He was upset at times, but he still believed. So as you've seen, for most people, my first year on YouTube was not a year of harvest. It was a year of planting. I invested a lot of time and effort into this because working as an artist who can produce and share their own content in their own terms working on projects and themes that I'm truly passionate about is something that really fascinates me. I'm upset sometimes. I see my friends making stable money and looking at me like, what the hell are you doing? And it does affect me a little sometimes, I cannot lie. But I believe, and as my biggest example of perseverance in life, so will I persevere. And not only that, as my father did, I will learn from my mistakes and recognize my hits. Because success is a matter of time, but more than that, it's a matter of effort, trust, and love. Thank you so much for being part of my journey from this very beginning.